Hey guys, here's a 1 year update on the 45-gallon reef tank. I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright everybody, so I know it's been a really long time, sorry about that glare on the tank, but it's been about a year since this tank was first started, so I figured I'd give you guys an update on the 45-gallon reef tank. Let's go ahead and take a look at all the equipment, see what I'm using on it. We've got the two MP10s for flow in the back, as well as the Radion XR15 Pro. The CPR overflow that we drilled and installed. It's still got the Reef Keeper light running it on the inside. The Aquamax FRSE reactor. It's got the CJ 3.0 pump in there now from the 75. Still running that skimmer, guys, the eShops X120. Badass. Definitely an awesome skimmer. I'm super happy with it. It's always pulling out all kinds of gunk and grime. I really haven't had to mess with it since I put it in there. I tried adjusting it a week or so just to try and get a little bit drier skim, and then decided I wasn't happy and put it back. The refugium is doing well. I just harvested a bunch of stuff out of it the other day. The only thing that we did change equipment-wise is I had just a float switch wired into the Reef Keeper. Well, that wasn't cutting it, so we went ahead and got a innovative marine hydrofill control unit, and that is taking care of it. The reason we got that is because the float switch got stuck. It came downstairs one morning, and I had a boatload of water right there. But anyhow, let's take a look at the livestock. Fish, got the Coral Beauty and the Powder Brown Tang. Both are exceptional assholes, but doing very well. A lot of personality between those fish, especially the Powder Brown. Kind of likes to run the show. There's two purple firefish, but for whatever reason over the last month or so, the Coral Beauty has decided to harass them, and they live in this rock here. They pretty much only come out for feeding. Otherwise, they're doing well. And then we've got the black. Well, it started out as just a snowflake clown, and it was with my black one, and it now is now half black and half orange. And then we got the regular Ocellaris for him to be buddies with, and they're establishing who's boss right now. There is also, come around here, see if we can find him. Oh, there he is. There he is, back in the cave there, guys. A mandarin who's doing very well. I've thrown about 2 packs of pods in here, one about a month before he went in, and then one about a month after he went in. And he seems to be doing very well. Pretty shy, but he's always out and about. It's kind of fun looking for him. And then we've got the red fire shrimp back in his cave right there. As far as cleanup crew, there's 3 tiger conches in here, as well as a few trocus snails, some hermit crabs, and a few emerald crabs. The corals. This tank doesn't have a whole lot in the way of corals. I don't know why. I think it's because my wife had a color scheme in mind, and if it wasn't, what was the color scheme? Green and purple? Yeah. It was green and purple. So if they weren't green or purple or a combination thereof, it wasn't going in the tank. So it took, and a little red. So it took a while to get corals in there. Well, I got to where I just started putting them in there if they look good. So we've got the octo spawn and the hammer. They're both doing very well. They seem to like that area. It's one of the lower flow areas where they just kind of sway back and forth. The Duncans, I always forget about them, but they're perched right there. They're not taking off it like they did in the past. I'm assuming they're not getting enough light. The Candy Kings, just hanging out. Looking good though. They did have a bunch of bubble algae on them, but I since was able to get that. I pulled them out of the tank and I was able to get it all off. The flower pot is doing very well. It was pissed off with us. This is one we got from Vivid. It did well for a few weeks, and then it retracted and hid and looked nasty for a few weeks, like actually a couple months. Didn't look dead, but so we pulled it back into the shadier spot. Oh, look, there's the firefish. See? And it has since thrived. The bubble coral that we've had forever is doing awesome. I don't think it likes the amount of flow, but now that there's some SPS in the tank, I had to crank up the flow a little bit. It doesn't seem irritated by it. It just, I don't know, it doesn't sit like a cloud of bubbles. The Zoa rock has obviously taken off. The eagle eyes and then the purple and orange, whatever they're called on the right, are doing awesome. There is some green ones in there, but the eagle eyes have pretty much overshadowed them. Little acan garden, some purple and green ones, some multicolored ones, and then some red and green ones. They occasionally get like that from the flow where they look a little smushed and flat. But then I'll notice, like you see the ones on the right, they're puffy and their tentacles are out. So I guess they just get in moods or irritated and they get over it. I don't remember what these guys are called. I know they're a soft coral polyp type thing. They seem to be doing well. Adds, you know, a little movement over to this side of the tank. And then up in the top, the vivid purple Monticap was an extremely slow grower. It didn't grow at all for months. And then for whatever reason, the last couple months it's decided to grow and it's starting to encrust the rock and it's looking healthy and colorful and beautiful. Up above that is a red planet, a piece of the frag that was in my tank. Because I mentioned they were kind of browning out, I figured, hey, I'll put that in this tank where it has light that's accustomed to, and see if it'll get some of its color back, as well as add some more coral. Same thing with the strawberry shortcake, another frag of a frag. And then the red digi up there is one from Battle Corals. I don't remember what it's called. I purchased, my wife bought me a battle box, and it was shipped. However, FedEx somehow had a delay a couple weeks ago. So instead of overnighting it, I got it in 2 days, and it just happened to be on one of the coldest weeks in the country. And so all but one of the corals, that one didn't make it. I do have, Adam is sending us another one, and he's been awesome to work with, guys. So if you ever get a chance, check out Battle Corals. And then there's a bird's nest behind it. It's bouncing back also. And then this chalice, can't really see, let me come around this side here. That chalice, put it in there, it bleached out except for a tiny little sliver of it, and now it's starting to grow back and encrust the rock. So I think it just had to get used to the light, and it took a long time to do so. Oh, and then I also got a purple and green Favia in here. Plans with this tank is just to keep adding corals at this point. I know she wants a flame hawkfish in here, as well as I'm trying to convince her to get a wrasse, but she doesn't like them. She says they look too normal. But I mean, I think fish were pretty much done, and then it's just adding corals, and it's finding stuff that my picky wife likes to put in here, and then letting it grow out. This tank is self-sustaining, which is pretty nice. It's low maintenance. So yeah, that's the tank. As far as the maintenance on this tank, as I mentioned, it's low maintenance. It gets a 5 to 10 gallon water change every 2 weeks, depending on how I feel. I replace I'm still running kalkwasser in there, which after some testing and having to adjust with some 2-part a couple days ago, I'm gonna have to increase the saturation of the kalkwasser to probably 6 to 7 teaspoons for the 5 gallons. I think now that there's some SPS and they're starting to grow, they're absorbing it a lot more. But other than that, yeah, I change out the filter socks 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays whenever I feed. I feed the corals once a week, some reefroids. And the fish get fed 3 times a day. Pellets in the morning, frozen food before I go to work, and then nori also before I go to work to kind of hold them over. And then on my days off, they will get some HPD at some point in the afternoon too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's Super reliable tank, like I mentioned before in the quarantine video. I kind of got lucky with this one. I've had nothing but problems as far as illness and disease and death in the 75, but in this one, I got lucky, and so I don't plan on changing anything. Just keeping it as is. So thanks, guys. I hope you liked the update. If you have any feedback or questions, feel free to hit me up. Take care. Bye.